Hey guys, Allison here. Well, we celebrated Independence Day last week, and it is a great holiday, all right, celebrating the independence of America. And I think there's a more hopeful spirit in America lately. I know it's been kind of very tough times now with all the things going on in the Middle East and everywhere else. But one of the movements that I'm super excited about is the MAHA movement, Make America Healthy Again. Because we are so behind the rest of the world. So many people are sick with autoimmune diseases, children, childhood cancers. It's just off the charts, and it doesn't have to be that way. So one of my pet peeves over the years has been how quickly doctors are to prescribe psychotropic medications without ever talking about diet. And what we're eating has a profound impact on our mental health. Our food is loaded with chemicals, with preservatives, with pesticides like glyphosate, and it's affecting our gut health, and our gut health absolutely impacts our mental health. So we need to look at that. So the question I want to ask from my perspective is, what do we need to do to make America mentally healthy again? So let's start individually. What can you do to be more mentally healthy? So I'm going back to where we started. Clean up your diet. It's so important, folks, to start going organic, to start reading labels, to avoid seed oils that cause massive inflammation. There have been studies with autism and gut health that are very conclusive. So we really do need to look at that. If we want to be mentally healthy, we need to be feeding our body good things. All right, we need to have those building blocks so that our nerves are good, so we sleep well, exercise, things like that. So that's the first step, is always look at those basic things. And, if you have been struggling, look for a functional medicine doctor, because they look at the root cause of what your problems are instead of just prescribing medications to kind of treat the symptoms. So I think that's key. And also, medications have so many side effects that can affect our mental health as well. So we need to look at that. I really recommend that anything you are prescribed, you do exhaustive research on, and really and also look at alternatives. So it's important. There are often sometimes alternatives naturally. Give an example. A few years ago, I had an endoscopy and found out I had bleeding ulcers in my stomach. And the doctor tried to put me on medication. I politely said okay. I went to my functional doctor, took slippery elm bark and DGL, deglycerinated licorice root extract. They were gone a year later when I had another endoscopy. So there are remedies that work. Don't do it yourself. Try to find a good functional medicine doctor. So that's, I think, the key. The foundation of our mental health is going to be our physical health and how we treat our bodies. Moving around. Too many of us have these sedentary lifestyles. We sit at our desk all day, hanging out on the couch. Try to move around a little bit. I have a rebounder. I love it so much. I'll put a link below the video. I love it because you can't help but smile when you're jumping up and down. And it's so good for your body. It moves your lymphatic system. It is just awesome. And it just really boosts your mood. Get some balance in your life. I mean, too many people today are either all work and no play, or all play and no work. We need a balance. You need to have some things that are purely for enjoyment, hobbies, let's say, social interaction, really, really important. Also, we need to learn how to set better boundaries, right, between work and home, perhaps, with difficult people in our lives, with relatives, whatever it is. We need to set better boundaries and know our priorities, because too often, especially if you're a sympathetic person, you might easily become a doormat because everybody depends on you, and then you burn yourself out. So setting those boundaries and really taking the time to think about what those boundaries need to be in your life. That's, again, where a coach could come in really helpful to help you to set that up. Stop comparing yourself to other people. And social media is so destructive in this regard. People post things on social media and it looks like they're living the life. It is not always the truth. In fact, probably more often than not, it's not. So stop comparing yourself. Look at what you have. Be thankful for what you have. If you want more, then strive with goals to achieve that. But stop comparing yourself to other people. Ultimately we're judging. We think, oh, they have a much better life or whatever. We don't know that. So try to focus on your own life. Focus on reality. So much of, I think, the mental illness today is I don't want to accept reality. I want reality to bend to how I see it or how I feel versus what reality is. We need to be in tune with reality. And of course, when it comes to that, who is the ultimate reality? It's God. So we do need to have that relationship, that connection with God. If you're struggling with that, maybe there's obstacles there because maybe you had a difficult parent or father or whatever. Seeing a Catholic therapist can be really helpful for that. Right? Also, we need to always feel like we have a purpose. We have to have some goals that we're striving for. Something to live for that's bigger than ourselves. All right? And often it's our family, our children, our grandchildren. Maybe it's a cause, whatever it is. To feel like you have some purpose, some reason that you're here is going to help you to feel better, just in general. Spiritually, we need a spiritual life. Now, obviously, I'm Catholic. I run Catholic therapists, Catholic life coaches. So I'm going to tell you, our faith offers so many aids to mental health. Obviously, prayer, obviously, scripture, the sacraments are powerful, praying with others, praying the rosary. Mary told Sister Lucia that there's no problem that cannot be solved by praying the rosary. So getting in that habit and not just reciting it, but really focusing on those mysteries and how they relate to you is powerful. Good reading, spiritual reading is so important because we want to have that spiritual perspective on life, that God is present with us and He's with us in our crosses and He's with us in our victories as well. The other thing is, what is coming into your mind on a daily basis? Do you have the news on all the time? Are you on social media? Are you following politics? Now, I like that to a certain extent, but try to fill up your mind with positive things. There are a lot of great positive Catholic podcasts, great positive, audio books that are out there. Feed your mind. Feed your mind with things that are going to make you hopeful about the future. Right? And if you're really struggling with your mental health, reach out to a Catholic therapist. And, God has a plan. He wants you to be happy. He wants you to be healthy. He wants you to be at peace. He allows our trials for a purpose. But again, if we want America to be mentally healthy, again, starts with us, right? Each of us needs to take responsibility and and also to kind of, especially if you have children, to really set up some habits and things in their lives. Model those behaviors for them. Family rosary, family going to church together, prayer. Let them see you doing those positive things and they will imitate them. They rebel a little while, but they'll come back to it. So again, if we want America to be mentally healthy again, starts with us, starts with you. Work on it. Hope you find it helpful. God bless you.